Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want to make sure I post our guest. She is coming on, Tahanee, and she's going to talk about relationships. She's a relationship columnist as well as an author. So we're going to. I see you. I'm just trying to pin you, Tahanee. I'm coming. I just want to make sure people know who you are, hopefully. Welcome. Hi, Ghana. All right. Where are you, beautiful? Okay.
Sheen Talk. If you want to know about love and relationships, I have Tahanee coming on. Hey, hi, beautiful.
Hey, I was trying to get everything situated. You know how your phone wants to do like really weird things right before you start? That's what happened. My phone just started acting crazy. Can you hear me?
Always. How are you? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here.
And I'm excited to have you here.
You.
I just finished. See, this is why I love hosting for Sheen Magazine, because we can educate in all kind of ways. I had a doctor on right before you, and now I have Tahanee, relationship columnist and author, right?
Yes.
All right. And you are a columnist for Yandy Smith's Everything Girls Love magazine, right?
Correct. Yes.
So everybody's saying hi. So everybody's happy to see you. And you are the author of, I'm going to make sure I say it right, Lust Now, Cry Later.
Yes.
I love, you know what? That's a lot that we could talk about just right there.
Hello. Yes.
And then and I like to get out all the business, and we'll talk about it later, but just in case we get into it, I don't want to forget to promote you. And then also you have a YouTube series, Bedroom Busters and Bites.
Yes. Yes. Bedroom Busters and Bites.
I love Bedroom Busters and Bites. So if you're just tuning in, this is Tahanee. Follow her, Totally Tahanee, right here on Instagram. I pinned it below. All right, so you want to get right into it, love?
Let's jump into it. I'm ready.
Okay. So you are a relationship columnist for and people know Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop, and you know her amazing skincare products and her philanthropy work. We can't forget that. How did you connect with Yandy? How did that come about?
Well, my sister had told me that she was looking for writers, and I applied for the position, and I didn't get a call back or any type of contact back the first time I tried. So I think like maybe 6 or 7 months had gone by, and then I tried again the second time, and then no less than like 2 weeks. One of the editors from the magazine contacted me, and she said, we came across your resume, we saw some of your work, and we're interested. So they had me write like a sample article, and I mean, right after they read it, immediately I was contacted, and I just jumped right on board from there. So.
Okay, do you remember how long ago that was and your first article for them?
2015, July 2015.
Oh, wow.
July 2015. Yep.
So did you know that you were going to be the relationship columnist? Is that what you signed up for, or did it come about?
You know what's so crazy? But I had been praying about finding a position for a while because, obviously I love to write about relationships. So a lot of my, previous work I had done just, simple writing, short articles just for other, people. I didn't know that it would actually be that position, until it was presented, once they started looking and stuff like that. Because it was different, different categories they were looking for. My phone keeps going, so like this iPhone is really weird. But just different just different categories they had. And then when they said relationships, I was like, okay, perfect. And then they gave me a sample article, and I just like, just went for it. I mean, I just put my all into it. And, you know, I was contacted and I was like, yes, yes. Like, I was just so excited about it. I was so excited.
So Tahanee, so what do you know about relationships? What makes you the expert that you are?
Let me tell you something. Experience is the best teacher, okay? I'm all for everyone going to college, getting your education. I'm for all of that, but experience is the best teacher. And, you know, at my age, you know, I've gone through quite a lot. And then just watching the people around me, you know, go through different relationships and things as such. The experience that I've had at the age that I am right now, I'm so grateful because, you know, I could have gotten that lesson, you know, years from now. But, you know, it's a blessing that I'm able to say, you know, at the age of 40, I'll just give away my age. At the age of 40.
Girl, you look good.
Thank you.
I would never guessed it. I would have never guessed it. I'll be 50 in June. So
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you look amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
I want to look like you when I get a little older. You know, we're still young. We're still young because you know what? I'm 40, but in my mind, I'm 27. So I'm sticking.
Honey, you look 27.
Thank you. And
you look 27.
And you do too. Let me tell you, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, okay? That's my story and I'm sticking. I'm 27, okay? So you know,
I'm 30, and I can say, so then I can say I'm 35, right?
That's right. And trust me, I promise you, I would have never guessed and imagined, I mean, in a million years that you were going to be 50. Wow. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. So do you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you.
Thank you so much.
So do you, because when you said, because of my experience and at my age, I'm like, she got to be like you said, 27, 28. That's what I was thinking.
In my mind, I am. In my mind, I'm 27, 28. Because, you have to tell yourself these things, you know, to make yourself feel good and to just keep yourself going. Because if you're like, I'm, 40, I'm 50, you start feeling like that and you start looking like that and you don't want to do anything, So,
yeah,
I mean, listen, we're young. We're young and God willing, we have just so much to still cover on this earth while we're here. So,
yeah. Your people head table goals. You're so welcome.
Hey,
you're so welcome.
Hey, Nicole.
Yeah, she said, look, me and your publicist might have to talk, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
But she said, easy life, black don't crack. I'm 21 and holding. Yes.
That's my mother-in-law. Yes. And I see my best friend on there. Hey, guys. But yeah,
so I love the support that you have, though. Seriously, I love the support that you have, because people always come out if you're on TV One or BET or CNN or something else. But for Sheen Magazine's Instagram, you still have the support. So before we go into it, just talk about that for a moment, because I think it's so important to support our own and support our people. So tell me what that feels like, that your people are all up and through the comments.
It's a very wonderful feeling to see that, people support me and people are always pushing me. My best friend, and people wanted me to just, continuously work on my craft and just be the woman that, God created me to be. I love it. And what's so funny about it too is that I've met so many wonderful people. I mean, total strangers who I have formed friendships with, like virtual friendships with. And it's just beautiful. I think that it's a wonderful thing when people can see you, for who you are, before you get this platform. I just love the fact that there's people who genuinely come to you and they want help and they want advice and they really appreciate and value your craft and your talent. And I embrace it. I always embrace it. It doesn't matter who the person is. I always embrace it, because if they're out to, harm me or cause negativity in my life, God removes them. So when you come and
that's right.
When you come from a place of sincerity, I believe, and you put out that energy, that's all you're gonna attract, is the same positive.
That's right.
I'm all for it. I love everyone and I love the support, and I thank you guys so much. And I thank you again. I thank you guys so much.
It's such a pleasure. I'm glad I got a chance to. I'm glad they asked me to do this one, because I feel your energy off the screen, and I like you already. So you got another supporter, girl.
Yeah, and I think my sister. Yes, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so let me ask. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what was the hardest
Yeah,
lesson? And then we're
I'm
going
like
to
in and
switch it
out a little bit.
around.
Okay. It's kind of going in and out.
You hear me? I just want to make sure. You hear me?
Yeah,
Can
it's kind
everybody
of
hear
going
us?
in and out. It's kind of going in. Yeah, it's going like in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Can you hear
Can
me?
everyone, is it going in and out for you guys
It's
also?
it's lagging. Yes, it's kind of like lagging because the comments froze.
Okay, I still see the comments, so I'm not sure. If
Okay,
you guys can hear us out there, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. I can hear both. Okay, so they can hear both now. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm going to get into you as the expert relationship columnist and author. But I want to ask you, through your experience, what was the most poignant and the toughest lesson that you had to learn about relationships after you got out of a relationship?
I learned that a lot of times individuals
They can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can you hear me, everyone? Can you hear me? They can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can you hear me? All the viewers, can you hear me? If you can hear me, give a thumbs up or put a K in there if you can hear me, because I can't hear Tahanee either. You can't hear me either? Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you, but not her. Okay. Because I can't hear Tahanee either. We can't hear her. Okay. I can hear you, but I cannot hear Tahanee. Okay. All right. You put a K there. Thank you. Can't hear Tahanee. Okay. And unfortunately, this is what happens when we go live. Tahanee? Okay. Can't hear you. Mm-mm. Okay. So you guys can hear me and not. I don't know if she has, maybe something went over to Bluetooth, or I don't know what happened, but hopefully we'll be able to hear her. I can hear the host. I can't hear Tahanee. Okay. Okay. Because I know she said in the beginning something was going on with her phone. So, okay. Okay. She came off. Can you guys still hear me? She's going to come back on. But can you hear me? She had a great answer to the question. Her flow was on point, but I know I couldn't hear her either. If you can hear me, put a K in the comment if you can hear me. Put a K in the comments if you can hear me. That's so I'm going to make sure you can still hear me, and then when she comes back on. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to wait for her to log back on. Yes, we can do. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So tell me where you are. We're going to see if she can come back on. Okay, perfect. Got that K. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect. All right. So tell me where everyone is. Hopefully she'll work it out. Unfortunately, when it's live and this Wi-Fi in the way, I know she came on saying something was going on with her phone. So we'll get it together. She'll be back. Tampa Bay, Florida. So what's the weather in Tampa Bay? Pennsylvania. All right. NYC. Okay. I'm in Maryland right now. I'm in Maryland. All right. Someone said call him. I don't have your number, boo. I'm not calling. Okay. Okay, let's see. Sunny and cool. Oh, that sounds like my kind of weather. All right, let's see. She's coming. Yay!
I miss you guys. Hey.
Yes. So
we
missed that whole, and it's out, and you can see your mouth like this. We were like, oh, she's saying something juicy, but we couldn't hear you.
It's okay. I still got more. So you asked me after I got out of the relationship, what was a learning experience for me?
Yes, okay. Yes.
I was basically saying that, I felt that I was putting too much responsibility on the spouse that I had at the time. And just a lot of relationships, a lot of people make the error of putting the responsibility of guarding their heart and making rational decisions on their spouse. As human beings, we mess up. We're going to mess up. God knows that. But when we start to, get to the point where we feel like it's someone else's responsibility to make common sense decisions, that's where we mess up at, especially if you know a person is cheating and your gut instinct is telling you he's not being faithful or she's not being faithful, but you still want for them to just tell you the things you want to hear. That's like common sense and giving them, control over what the fact is, and when you do that, you really play on your own psyche, because we always have that little intuition. So when you start doubting yourself, you're really causing more harm, because when those voices come to you and tell you to make the rational decisions, you're so used to just ignoring it until it's hard to sometimes get it back and get that confidence. So that's what I realized I messed up at, really wanting to put the responsibility of this man to protect my heart when I know good and well he was never meant for me from the beginning, and he just was no good.
Okay.
So I learned that lesson the hard way.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad that you said that. And thank you for saying that, because there's somebody out there right now who knows. And that's the thing. People know right off the bat if it's a good fit or not. But what people try to do is, well, if I act this way, or he might change or she might change, so let me try to just stay in a little longer. And that ends up being a week too much, a month too much, a year too much, 5 years too much. Why do you think people ignore their own gut intuition when they know him or her is not the right fit for them?
People are afraid of being alone. People don't want to be alone. Just the thought of being in a relationship, people, have just grown to just, believe that you're not of any value, that you're worthless if you're not in a relationship, especially women. If you're not in a relationship by a certain age, and I say this time and time again, we're conditioned to believe that at a very young age. Our grandma, our mother, great grandmothers, they tell us, at this age, you should have the white picket fence, you should have the husband, you should have the child. So once you become that age and you don't have those things, you start to look at yourself and say, well, what's wrong with me? So then you're just looking for love from anybody that gives you just any inkling of love. You're like, you know what? Because grandma said that I should have it at this age, I'm going to go ahead and get with this guy. And then you try to make things work, and you turn the blind eye to all of these things that they're doing to you, all of this hurt and pain that they're causing, emotional abuse, mental abuse, all of that. You start to turn the blind eye to it because you want to live out that expectation that you were told as a little girl, that you were conditioned to believe, that you should have, where you should be, so it happens all the time. And people do it, just not knowing, you just don't know. You just grow into that habit, and it's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree 100%. I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for 20 years. And, I speak on relationships often, very often. So when they said that you know, they asked me, they said, do you want to, you know, interview Tahanee? I was like, absolutely. Because I said, we can have a good conversation. And I like, you know, what you talk about when you talk about relationships. You're welcome. And I like your spin and your perception and perspective on relationships. You're welcome. And you often talk about loving yourself. And it sounds cliche. It sounds like, duh, everybody knows to love themselves. But why do you feel like you have to keep driving that home? Because I agree. Why do you feel like people just don't, it doesn't click or register right away before they love someone else?
Because you know why? I think the most important thing that people have to understand, this is something that I say countless times over and over again. Everyone's definition of love isn't the same. You know, like some people are born into wealth, you know, and their parents are so rich until they never had the time to really sit down with them and bond. So their definition of love is materialistic things. What I can give to you, you know, in order to, you know, make you see or make you feel that, you know, there's some sort of love, there's some type of emotional bond. So, you know, I think that the biggest issue here is when two people get together and they don't understand or have like that same level of understanding when it comes to what the definition of love is. Because one person may think, well, you know, because I slept with this person, you know, lust, you know, they mistake it for love. And then the other person is like, well, you know, the materialistic things, what I can give to them in order to make them feel, you know, love. It's just not the same. You have to be compatible, and the definitions have to somewhat be the same. There has to be some kind of understanding, but then it all goes back to how they were raised, what it was that they saw in the homes, you know, how their parents interacted with one another or their guardian. So it always, excuse me, goes back to the foundation. What was set? You know, what was it, you know, that this child saw, this person saw? What was it that they were lacking that caused them to grow into adulthood and get into these toxic relationships where they are afraid to leave and they don't understand, you know, the concept of love or what it really means.
I think that is so important, and I'm so glad that you said it that way. That was brilliant, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. Because so many people feel that love has this one definition, right? They feel like everyone's had the same experiences. Duh, you should know what love is. Everybody knows what love is. But you saying that is basically, you're speaking about that family of origin. How were you raised? Like, how was love taught? Were your parents there? Do you hug? Because think about it. Everybody has met an adult that they don't want to hug, right? They don't want to show affection. They don't want to say the words. They want to, that love language is buy me this, buy me that. And that's how I can tell that you love me, because everybody they're not working, like you said, with the same definition, right? So when you get to this person, so you're in this relationship, let's give a scenario. You're in this relationship with this wonderful man, right? And he's buying you all of this stuff. And, you know, he's saying, I don't have to say I love you. You know, I'm buying you this. I'm taking you here. I'm doing this. What would you say to that woman that says, but I need to hear that he loves me? But he's like, you know, I love you because I'm doing this, and I don't do this for people I don't love. Like, what would you tell that woman who really just wants to hear those words, but she thinks that is the one?
I would definitely tell her what she needs to do is take a step back and really reevaluate herself, because really it has nothing to even really do with him, because that's an issue that he has to figure out. He has to ask himself separately, what and how does he define love? And obviously he thinks that it's through materialistic things. And that's the problem. It's like someone trying to put a size 8 on an 11 and a half foot. If this person doesn't get it and if they don't understand, you can't force someone, especially an adult, to understand and feel, you know, or give you what it is that you need if it's not in them. So I would definitely tell you to take a step back and first and foremost create that bond and that link with the creator. Because without the creator, you have nothing. You have nothing.
That's
you
right.
know, so take away whatever it is that you're putting into him. Don't make him your God. Let's go to the real creator. Let's go to God. Because a lot of times women make men their God, and men will let you down. People gonna let you down. You need to understand that and realize that people are human. No one owes you anything. You put all that work and effort into the creator, number one, and then number two, yourself. Because if you don't have that link that bond with God, you might as well just go ahead and dig your own grave, because you're not going anywhere. You're not, you know?
Girl, you made me lean back on that one.
It's the
Because
truth.
it's so true.
It's the truth.
Because it is so true. Somebody said a word. That is a serious word. And I need my tea because I just need to sip my tea and listen to Tahanee. Because it's true. Because you get these women in relationships and they make these men their God.
That's right.
They're not loving themselves. They're not loving God. Nope. And then they're wondering why the stuff is cracking under their feet. Right. It ain't working.
That's right.
You know, because they're trying to love this person. And you can't fully love someone until you love who made you, number one, and who you are as a person.
That's right.
You can't, how can you say I love you to someone when you ain't even treating yourself right?
That's right. That's right.
You know, you're not even loving yourself.
You can't.
So I want to ask you your take on this, because I often talk about this, and I want to know what you think. Okay. So when I'm talking to people about relationships, right, and people are dating these people who can barely take care of themselves. Now, I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about you ain't been to the dentist in 10 years. You ain't been to the doctor in 2 years. I've seen this, right? I've talked to people who, you know, so, but he loves me. He gonna take care of me though, but he's not taking care of himself. What would you tell that woman? How would you register? Allow her to see what's really going on here?
That's a great question. Well, first and foremost, I would really ask her, what is it that he gives to you that you feel like, you know, you deserve? Like, what is it that he's given to you that you feel like you deserve? You know, and if it's something where she can't answer that question, well, you know, like, for example, let's say how you said earlier, she wants to hear the words, I love you. So the very first thought that comes to mind, and, you know, the very first thought that she has, just from that question right there, the very first answer that she has should be the leading question on the next step that she takes. And if it's something that he's not giving her, that she's pulling for, you know what I'm saying, just thinking that he loves her, that right there should be something that she should really dig in deep into, and look at it. Really look at that right there. But the thing about those type of situations is that you have to really ask yourself still, like, the perception of love to the individual who's being neglected and abused. Because if this man is not taking care of himself, then we know he can't possibly do anything for her. But what platform does she come from to even put her in that frame of mind to think that she can, you know, extract those feelings and emotions from him? So it's, you know, the abuse, the psychological abuse that people go through, it's real. I mean, you know, and let me tell you, I'm big on seeing a therapist. I am big on seeing a therapist. You can't go to a therapist 1 session, 2. I mean, it takes years and years to unlearn these toxic relationships, these toxic behaviors. You know, it's just so many things that we have to really unlearn before we can really learn the true value of what love is and why we're here. You know, why we're here, excuse me. So it's just so much. It's just mental abuse that we've gone through. Like, even when it takes it back to our history, you know, of us being melanated people, we've gone through so much abuse. You know, and then when you look at, you know, people and, you know, how people live, and you read and you research and you say, you know what? This wasn't normal. What I went through as a child, that wasn't normal. It's not normal, you know, but you can't fault your parents for the past. Can't fault your guardian, because, you know what, parents don't come with the book. Like my mom always says, you can't fault them. The most important thing is to identify the problem and work on it. Accept it, you know, and work on it. And it's all about exception, you know, just unveiling yourself, you know, stripping yourself of everything, you know, and really looking deep into yourself and seeing what's normal and what's not normal. And then, like I said, again, creating that bond with the creator, that link.
Yeah.
That link.
I totally agree. That's perfect advice. You answered that perfectly. People are like, that's right. Hola. I won't let you down, Queen. Someone said, amen.
Hey,
Tahanee is preaching a word.
Hey, guys.
So true. Is it love? Let me see. Is it I love you because I need you, or I need you because I love you? Help me. So I'll go right to Sizzler's question. That's a good question. So Tahanee, she says, is it love you? Is it I love you because I need you, or I need you because I love you? Help me. And that's Sizzler 559.
See, the thing about that question right there is the word need. We don't need anything from another human being. Love is something that is given freely. You know what I'm saying? Love is not something that I feel you have to work on. When you love someone, you do things that show them that you love them. But there's things that you do, you know, not just in one area, not the materialistic things. It could be just something as simple as saying, I love you, or cooking a nice meal or something like that. You don't need anything. We need air to breathe. We need water, you know, to survive. You know what I'm saying? We don't need love. Love is okay. It's okay to have love. It's okay, but you don't need love from someone else. You need it from yourself. You need to get the love from yourself internally. And then externally, you'll start to feel those things around you. When you start putting out that positive energy and things as such, then you're going to get it back. And you don't have to say to the person, I need you, or I want you. You don't have to do that because it's going to come naturally. That's the problem. People are trying to create this life, or they're trying to create these relationships that aren't meant to be. They're not. And your inner voice is going to always tell you. Your inner voice is really the creator giving you that knowledge that you need. But the question is, are you open? Are you open to receiving that message? Or do you want to continue to block and dodge it and turn the blind eye because it's something that you feel you need? You don't need it.
That's right.
You don't.
That's
you really
right.
don't. And as long as you keep on living, you know, in that frame of mind where you need, you're going to continuously see yourself going through toxic relationships, toxic friendships, accepting all types of abuse because you already embedded in your mind that that's something that you need when you really don't.
Yep. I hope she answered it for you because she did. She did. So you just blessed somebody, even the person that didn't ask the question. You did, because that's so true. That's so true. You don't need it you need air.
That's right.
You need self-love. You need God. You need, you know, you don't need another person. You don't need to get that. So whatever you're deficient in, the other person can't give it to you.
Right.
It's something that you have to try to find from within, starting with the creator. That's basically what Tahanee is saying. So, you know, maybe you can reach out to Tahanee a little more. Maybe she can talk to you about that and find out really what's going on. But hopefully that helps. All right. So you often talk about cheating when you talk. And do you think that a relationship can withstand cheating? If a man cheats on a woman, do you think that they can continue the relationship even though he's cheated in the relationship? And do you believe always once a cheater, always a cheater?
I don't believe that once a cheater, always a cheater. The only way that relationship can really survive something, you know, as difficult as that is if the person who did the cheating, you know, the cheater, if they're willing to change. Because if they aren't willing to change, you're just wasting your time. You're just really wasting your time. And you know, and first and foremost,
or if they won't acknowledge that they cheated.
Exactly. And you know, first and foremost too, you really have to really ask yourself, you know, too, just the person who's been cheated on, you know, you have to really, you know, come to grips and just get out of your mind that whatever happened with your spouse, it has nothing to do with you. A lot of times women blame themselves. Maybe if I was a little more skinnier, maybe if I, you know, did this, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. People always try to put themselves first when it comes to other people's problems and baggage. Like, we have to understand that we all are individuals and we all have our own issues that we need to address. So for me, of course, I was cheated on. Like, who hasn't been cheated on? And I try to do the whole, you know, going to marriage counseling and all of that stuff. It didn't work because he didn't want to change. He wasn't ready to change. And you know what? I wasn't going to stick around until he decided that it was time for him to change. I said, you know what?
Good for you.
You're not going to change. I'm not wasting any more time with you. It's time to move on. So if he's not willing to change, then you know what? You need to move on. But most importantly, you need to say to yourself, am I going to stay around and wait for him, or am I going to go ahead and just make a move and break out? You know, I mean, you know, he may say he want to change, you know, but I mean, people say a lot of things and don't act on it. So really the question is, do you have time to sit around and wait for this person to change? It could take a year, 6 years. I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
I just had a conversation with my cousin today. I'm putting her on blast. I'm not going to say who it is, but I had a conversation with my cousin today, and she's in a very, very new relationship. I don't even know if they titled it yet, right? And she's saying, he's saying this and he's saying that, and I can tell. I said, you know what? he can say what you just said. That what made me is what made me think about it. I said he can say a lot of things, but until he shows you, that's when you really start paying attention. Don't hold stock in what he's telling you.
Right.
Wait to see what he's showing you.
Right.
Why do you think so many women just go off of, oh, he said this, and they get in la la land, opposed to saying, okay, let me put my feet solid on the ground and wait for him to show me? Why do you think women just run with what he said?
Because they're looking for love. They're looking for love. That's it. They're looking for love. You know, so like the thing about that is that, like I said, it's gonna always go back to the foundation. It's gonna always go back to the setting, the how they were raised, you know, the what they saw as children. You know, I mean, it all derives from that right there. Nothing more, nothing less. It's what you were told. You know, your grandmother, your mother told you, you know what, at the age of 25, you should be settled down. That doesn't happen. You know, you have women who go off to college and, you know, women go up to college and they break wild, especially if they come from a very strict home. They break wild. So, you know, you're in college, you know, you're going for whatever, you know, you may go for your 4-year degree. Maybe you haven't even gotten into college until you were 20. So by the time you come out, you're 24. So automatically in your mind, you went to college, you know, you had your fun, you did this, you did that. But now you're 24, you have your bachelor's degree, right? And now in your mind, it's, you know what? I only have 1 more year, you know, break wild. You know, grandma told me that at the age of 25, I should be settled down. So now you're meeting random men and you're trying to already create this image of the perfect guy, even though, you know, you call him and sometimes he don't return your call, or sometimes he don't, you know, sometimes he don't even call you at all. You know, you're waiting a week to call. I mean, you know, you're waiting a week to get a call from him, or he only calls you at a certain time. You know, but you like, you know what? It's okay. You know, maybe you start making up all of these excuses because you want to create the perfect guy. You know, because in your mind it's been embedded at the age of 25. You got to settle down. You're settling for these men who you know are no good. They're no good. So it still always boils down to how you were raised, what you were told, and you know, it's just a foundation.
I think that that's such a good key and takeaway for people, because it's so important. And people don't talk about that often. So I'm glad that you're talking about that. People don't talk about how you were raised and what you know about love and affection and men and all of that has to do with what you've seen growing up, or what you witnessed or didn't witness, or what someone told you. It's so important. And then as you grow older, you start to define it for yourself. But it does always revert back to that. So I'm glad that you were saying that. And some people do put their money where their mouth is, and that's what I love to see. Okay, he said that, and now he did that. Like nice. That's great. That's always nice. Right. Always a nice right. But I want to talk about your YouTube series and the name Bedroom Busters and Bites. So what does that mean for the people who don't know, and why did you decide to name it that?
Well, you know, Bedroom Busters and Bites, I'm always trying to create just platforms. I'm just always trying to create material that focuses around relationships. And it doesn't always have to be a relationship between a man and a woman. It could be just a relationship you have with, you know, your coworker, your boss. So just real life stuff. So I said, you know what? I want to create something where it just shows me and my family in full transparency. We love to eat. We're foodies.
They're loving the conversation. This is a good discussion. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to leave y'all out. And the negativity on here, I'm glad Head Table Goals. Thank you. I appreciate you. She's monitoring. So I don't even have to.
They're crazy. But, you know, I wanted to do like something that shows us in full transparency, something that isn't scripted, something that, you know, isn't done where we're looking, you know, to get clout. You know, we're just being ourselves. But I wanted to do it in a setting, you know, it's at my parents' house, where it's fun, you know, where it's real talk, it's discussions, you know, and when we're cooking. So I'll have a guest come on, and the bedroom buster part, the bedroom comes from us wearing pajamas. It doesn't always, like I said, focus on relationships. So everyone that's on the show is in pajamas. I'm the host.
I love that.
I'll have someone come on who may be a chef, and in their own mind they're a chef, or they may have a favorite meal that they want to share with us. So they'll come on and, you know, they'll cook, and I'll ask them questions. We'll have a topic. Like,
I love that.
We may talk about what's going on in the current media. news, whatever's going on at the time. Or I may talk about, how do women get out of abusive relationships? Just something like that, just as an example. And then on the side of us, we have a table of 4 guests. So the guests are in their pajamas as well, and we're all engaging in conversation. So that's where the bedroom comes in at, because everyone's in pajamas. Now, the busters are facts that I found from around the world. Now, these busters are like shocking facts. Like, for example,
because when I first read it, I thought you meant those busters.
No. But,
when I first, before I researched, I said, is she talking about like the guy? Like, okay.
No.
Then I found out.
No. So the buster would be a fact. Like, for example, in India, a man can offer his wife if he owes a debt. Okay, so if he owes a debt, he can offer his wife. And then also in a Hispanic country, I can't remember what country it was, but if the person looks like they have HIV, the police are allowed to arrest them if they look like they have HIV. This is the last one. In Maryland, it's illegal to have more than 2 dildos. In Maryland.
I'm in Maryland.
Are you serious? Oh, wow. Okay, girl.
I never, but you know what? You just taught me right here.
Yeah.
Are you like in your possession? Like in someone's house,
or
really?
Also, too. Now, I don't want to mix up the buses, but also in Maryland, I read from the buster the fact it's illegal to have anal sex in Maryland, because we're all grown here. This is the type of stuff we talk about.
Wow,
it's illegal.
Really?
In Virginia, you cannot have sex in the daytime with socks on.
What?
Yes.
Like, okay, so who makes these rules, and who's doing the patrolling to come to see how many dildos you have? Do you see if you have socks on? Like, who are these people? Let
me tell you.
Hello, I'm just coming in to see.
Let me tell you. I mean, it was when I first read it, I was like blown away. And
somebody said you going to jail. Who, me? I didn't say. I said I live in Maryland. That's all I said.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. And I forgot the other state, but check this. This is like the craziest.
But if you have socks on,
if in the daytime,
so you said if you're doing if you're having anal sex or just sex, period.
Anal sex. You cannot anal sex in Maryland
in the daytime.
And
anal
sex in Maryland is illegal.
Okay.
You cannot have sex in Virginia in the daytime with your socks on.
Regular
sex in the daytime with your socks on. This is the last one.
I don't like socks on anyway, but I'm just saying, and I'm not in Virginia. But that's crazy.
But look, I'm in Virginia though, so but whatever. But yeah, and this is the last one. I can't remember.
Wow. I can't remember. Look, you just taught me, because I'm like, what?
I can't remember this state, but it's legal to have sex with an animal as long as it's in a position that the animal can do. So bestiality, I can't remember what state it is, but bestiality is legal. It's legal. I mean, these busters are crazy. Like, they're like, crazy. That's why.
What?
Yes, that's why we enjoy. Like, that's why I love, because that's the same reaction I get from like my people when they're like, what? Like, oh my gosh, like, are you? So yeah. So that's what a busters.
Wow. So you have to watch her YouTube channel, because if you just learn right here, like I did, then there's a lot more that you have to learn. And like she said, her guest on bedroom busters and bites, and I guess bites are the food.
There you go.
Food, right?
Yep. The food is the bite.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, we give you our full and true opinion about what we think of the food. So if you come on there and you make something that isn't, like, we'll tell you, and not in a crazy, not in a way where it's just.
I love it.
But
I love
we'll tell you, too salty, or and everything is unscripted. Like, it's just real, raw, and uncut.
I love it.
Shout out to the director.
I love that.
Yeah, my sister.
I love that, because if you're talking about being honest, right? If you're talking about honesty anyway, and you're talking about these busters, and you're talking about, it's only right to be honest about the food. I mean, we're going to take honesty across the board. Yep. So we're talking about it's illegal to have socks on and have sex in the state of Virginia. In Maryland, you can only have 2 dildos or you'll get arrested. And your macaroni salad is salty.
Yep. we just want to keep it real all the way around.
Wow.
All the way around, we want to keep it real.
Wow. I think that's an awesome concept that you came up with. And from one content creator to another, I can appreciate that, because I don't think I've seen anything on YouTube that is doing that they're doing what you're doing. Like I've never seen that. So kudos to you for coming up with an original idea, which is hard to do because everybody is doing everything.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. It's fun. I mean, it's just natural for us. It's so much fun. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about this book, Lust Now, Cry Later. Hold it up. Okay, before we get started, tell the people where they can get it right now, and then we'll go right into it.
This book is worldwide, so you can get it at your local bookstore, Amazon. You can get it from Barnes and Noble. You can get it from where else? What's the other bookstore? Barnes and Noble. It's another. I can't say Borders. It's no more Borders.
Books a Million.
Books a Million. I mean, it's everywhere.
Okay.
It's worldwide.
Okay.
Everywhere on my website. Books a Million online, Walmart, Target. It's everywhere. Thank you.
So what is the book about? Tell us what the book is about.
My publicist said,
it's just, I think she's saying hold it, but it's the way that it
the
it's
camera
set up. It's gonna, you had it the right way, but it's just, you had it the right way.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, you just can't.
Okay,
yeah.
So this book right here,
and it's nice and thick too. I can appreciate a nice thick book.
Yes, it's a pretty.
I like that.
Thank you. So this book focuses on any and everything that you can possibly imagine, from domestic violence to child abuse to racism, LGBTQ issues, HIV, alcoholism, mental illness, everything. When I wrote this book, I wanted to write a book that focused on the things that we don't like to talk about. You know, as an author, you know, I come across a lot of books, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I come across so many books, but I felt like we needed something, you know, that was more than drugs, that was more than sex, that was more than the fast life. Because I put myself in a position, I said, what if I was a foreigner and I wanted to come to the country and learn about Black people, you know, and I decided to go and pick up an urban lit, you know, book. All of the books focus on the same thing, sex, money, drugs. It's always the same thing. I wanted to talk about something, like I said, that people are uncomfortable talking about. Let's talk about child molestation. Let's talk about mental illness. Let's talk about HIV. Let's talk about these down low men. Let's talk about alcoholism. Let's talk about domestic violence. You're going to get all of that in this book right here. You're going to get all of those things in this book right here. All of those things. Even if you know, feel like, you know, well, the book is not for me. And somebody tried to say it to me one day. This lady was like, I don't think so. I'm like, why? She's like, well, I don't read books like that. Books like what? Books that can save you, that can save your niece from HIV, that can save you, that can save you from falling into alcoholism, that can save you and make you realize that when your uncle was touching you when you was 9 years old, that wasn't normal. You know what I'm saying? So people kind of like shy away from those type of topics, but this is in your face where you can't turn a blind eye to that. And it's going to make you think. And I take my readers on a journey because I love having the control of being able to, you know, pull certain things out of them. I love thought-provoking content. So I create thought-provoking content. Stuff that's going to make you look and say, you know what? This guy I was dating was actually a narcissist. This guy I was dating was actually a sociopath. So you're going to have no choice but to embrace these emotions and feelings. So that's why I wrote the book. You know what I'm saying? So, and just inform people on HIV as well. My best friend, he may still be in it. He's HIV positive, you know, and I talk to him a lot, like every day, and I see the emotions that he goes through, just the things that he's battling every day. This man was, you know, living his best life, really, truly. And he came across a woman who had HIV for 12 years, but she didn't tell him. They were together for 2 years. She had it for 12 years and didn't tell him. You know what I'm saying? And I see what he goes through. And the responsibility of him getting tested was his responsibility, but he put it off on her. That's in this book. Things like that is in this book. Look out
now,
for medication.
That's deep. That's deep. That's powerful. That's powerful. Someone already was saying, well, where can I get the book? And your publicist handled it. Perfect. But so is it written in short stories? Is it written in a novel? how did you lay it out? Because those are a lot of topics that are important to our community, and we need to have those hard conversations. We need to talk about that. How did you lay it out and break it down?
Well, this book is written in novel format. It has about 8 characters.
Okay.
8 characters.
Gotcha.
So I am each character. So you're getting into the mind of each character. So before you judge a character, which you really can't in this book because you're going through the journey with them, and I'm allowing you to realize and understand why they make the decisions that they made. And I'll always take it back to that one thing I always say. Childhood.
Love it.
You're going to always go back to the childhood
of
these people. And in this book, right, like, you don't have a choice, but you're going to either like really hate them or love them. And even if you do hate them, you're going to still have some compassion for them, because you're going to see what they went through to lead them, you know, to these crazy decisions that they made, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that's Tahanee. I think that's awesome. I really do. And the way that and I think it's so important. You're welcome. I think it's so important to get all of those subjects out that you're talking about. But I love that you did it in a novel form, telling the story, because there's someone that's going to read. You're welcome. Someone that's going to read the story and say, this is me. Yeah. This might not be me, but this is my sister. This is my cousin. This is my friend. You know, and I think it's so important. And some people, like you said, the lady, some people are not ready to deal with the truth. And as we talked about honesty earlier, they're just not ready. And hopefully, you know, they'll get ready. How is the book selling for you? And is this your only book?
Well, this book was, you know, published by Wahida Clark. We all know that she's a vet in the game, you know, shout out to Wahida always. Yeah. But, I mean, the book is doing really well. I think it may be the 5 stars now. On Amazon.com. It may be up to 5 stars now. So I'm working on part 2, because this book comes in, you know, several different parts. So it doesn't stop here. It doesn't, because when you think about these topics, unfortunately, it's never ending. It's a never ending story, ending story, you know, but only thing we can do. And I love this so much. I mean, when I wrote this book, I really put my heart into it, because I want to educate my readers as well. So there's a lot of things in here as far as the information goes with HIV, the symptoms, the medication, what to look out for, you know. So yeah, I mean, this book right here is going to educate you, and at the same time, it's going to be very intriguing and very entertaining. So part 2 will be out. So I'm working on part 2. I'm working on a lot of different things with this book, so it doesn't end, you know. God willing, I'm going to keep on going.
I love that. We got about 3 minutes left. This happened. People are saying they're enjoying this interview. Thank you. They're enjoying the conversation. Yes. So it's so many things that I want to ask you. Definitely have to have you back, but a couple more minutes. So tell me what's the most rewarding part of being a relationship columnist, and what you're working on now.
The best, one of the most wonderful and rewarding things is interviews with people like you, beautiful people like you. I thank you so much. Thank you. And also meeting just my readers, like having a chance to really bond like with my readers. I get so many messages where people, you know, come to me and they say, you know what you said earlier, that book is me, like that character is me. I love when people are able to come out of their shell and really embrace their flaws and really want to work on bettering themselves, and at the same time helping others around them. My project that I'm working on right now is a Bedroom Busters and Bites season 3 is coming now. So now we'll be recording season 3 with a lot of special new guests. I'm so excited about that, God willing. I'm working on the sequel to this book right here. And then I have another book that I'm writing currently. It's called Happy Deception. So that book right there is going to be, oh man, I'm so excited, God willing, about that book. Happy Deception is going to really be something that's
I like that. When you said that, I'm like, that could mean so much. And I love those double meanings, because lust now, cry later. You don't know what to think. You're thinking about all kind of things. And then when you just said that, Happy Deception, you say that, you know what I mean? So I love those type of books already. And those are the intriguing titles that you see, like, well, let me dive into this to see, you know, what this is about. But Tahanee, I enjoyed you. You know, I'm thinking about driving to Virginia so I can be in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're right there, so you are more than welcome to come anytime. We will definitely speak offline. Absolutely, I would love to have you. I would love to.
I will come in my mask. Just to hear the conversation. Sit at the table.
You are more than welcome. Or you can get in the kitchen and cook. You know, you can always cook too. You could chop it up with us. I always say you can try.
You ain't gonna tell me my food's too spicy. Because I like the spice. You're gonna be like, this is too spicy.
Girl, we love spice, so you're good over
Okay.
here. We love spice, so I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
But I thank you. This has been a pleasure and a joy. And, you know, people are saying this is great.
So
thank
much,
you for the
everyone.
conversation. Thank
my
you.
publicist, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Yes, and we got the audio right. We can hear her. We can see her beautiful face. You know, we loved on one another. Y'all told us black don't crack. We doing it right.
Hey, Nietzsche, everyone. Hi, everyone. Everyone's been so wonderful. I saw Diego. I appreciate this interview. I had so much fun.
I'm glad you did. It was my pleasure. So we definitely have to have you back, you know, for Sheen Talk at Sheen Magazine. Everyone, make sure you follow Tahanee at Totally Tahanee right here on Instagram. And quickly tell them how they can get your book and where else they can connect with you.
My book is available on Amazon. It's available at your local bookstore, Barnes and Noble. I mean, any and every bookstore you can possibly think of. Books A Million everywhere. You can also purchase it on my website at tahanee.org. And be sure to tune into my show, Bedroom Busters and Bites, on YouTube. Season 3 coming in about a month and a half. God willing.
Make sure you subscribe to her channel as well. And also Google her. You'll find out a lot about her and where you can get the book as simple as Googling as well. But Tahanee, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
you, everyone. Appreciate you all. Be safe. And I will definitely be in touch with you because I would love to have you on the show.
Oh, please do. Please do. I would love to be there. Thank you. Bye everyone.
Guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Sheen Talk. I am Kendell Lenice. Make sure you follow both of us. And remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Until next time, God bless. Peace.
Bye.